welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. I'm in Wiltshire today. I'm on top of, this is called Huish Hill, or I think also known as Orr Hill, near the village of Orr, not far from the slightly larger town, or is it just a big village of Pewsey, which is where I got the train to today. I'm out for a Tweedy outdoors adventure. Just been making a fondue in this ditch I'm currently sat in, which I think is in quite a beautiful location. It's a very nicely located ditch on top of a hill overlooking the Wiltshire countryside. More Gevrey Chambertin from Harmand Geoffrey. This is the 2016 vintage. I've had a bit of a run of these, haven't I? I've tried the 2019, 2020, 2021. Forget, I might have missed one out there. This is the 2016, so it has a lot more age than any I have tried to date. And although I think I may have previously had some misgivings about 2016. Was it a low yield as vintages go? But I think the quality was supposed to be relatively good. They always seem to say that in Burgundy, don't they? When the yield is low, they always say yes, but the quality was great. So there were some problems with, was it frost or rain or whatever it was? But I think if you look at those vintage charts, the overall professional ratings for 2016 tend to be quite high. It is quite a professionally well regarded vintage. So I'm interested to try this because Harmand Geoffrey's Gevrey Chambertin is a wine I have loved across several vintages now, but I've always tried it when it's relatively young. Even that 2019 I had, I think it was a year or so ago to start off with, so it was only really, 3-4 years old. Interesting to try one that is a whopping, by my standards, 8 years old. Lunch was ready pretty quickly, the fondue I made here. So normally I would open the wine so I could have a glass with lunch when I'm out cooking like this. But on this occasion, it just all happened so quickly. So I'd had some cider, which I needed for the cooking. The fondue made with cider. None of this is relevant to the wine. Trying to explain why I'm opening this now and not before eating. So this is more of a dessert wine. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Nice colour on the end of the cork there. And for once, I'm in sort of bright daylight, not in the gloom. I hope you can get at least a bit of the backdrop in here. Part of the virtue of being in a ditch is that there is a little bit of a bump the other side, so I don't know if that's obscuring the view beyond it. So in case you wanted to see it, that is the view from where I'm sitting, sans ditch, without having to look up over the ditch. Nice sky today as well, nice and blue sky, a few fluffy clouds here and there. There's that cumulus, I think that type of cloud. All right, let's get on with the wine. Shut up, Tweedy. As always, apologies for the subpar stemware, blah, blah, blah. It's a sort of deepish colour, but there is a little bit of translucency to it as well, and that may just be reflecting more the lighting conditions than anything else. But yeah, slightly on the dark side, but with a little bit of, as I say, translucency there. Lovely sort of ruby sparkling from the sunlight. On the nose, immediately I would say this is there is something deeper and richer than those more recent vintages that I'm familiar with from this wine, from Harmand Geoffrey's Gevrey Chambertin. Definitely don't want to say jammy, I know that's a rude word, but the cherries are slightly sort of condensed. Cooked also sounds bad, but there is a little bit of a hint of the kind of cherries you would get on a cherry tart, cherries that have been baked. And there is a little bit of that kind of Black Forest Gâteau effect. So it's quite perhaps it's just because, as I said, I'm choosing to have this as a sort of dessert wine, but it's coming across as quite sweet in some ways on the nose, in a very nice way. Rich, dense, slightly sweet cherry sort of aroma. Okay, give this a sip. That is really dense, really concentrated, really, really silky smooth, beautifully silky smooth. Some of the freshness from those previous vintages perhaps fallen away a little bit. Now it's a bit more sort of elegant, luxurious, rich, perfumed. Again, I often notice this perfumey sort of flavour. It's strange, isn't it? I'm talking about the nose being sweet and the flavour of it being slightly perfumed. Both those things sound like they're in the wrong place, don't they? But very sort of luxurious kind of perfumey sort of notes to the flavour. That sounds weird, doesn't it? But there it is. That is just absolutely gorgeous. One thing I was surprised about by this is from Robert Rolls. This may be the second wine I've now tried from a case I bought from Robert Rolls. They're a new merchant to me. It's the first time I've dealt with them. And the reason I actually found them was I was searching for other merchants that were selling Harmand Geoffrey. Fortnum & Mason have it, but only the very most recently released vintage, and I wanted to see if I could get perhaps that fantastic 2019 vintage, and I instead found this, and the price was incredibly reasonable. I was a bit taken aback almost. I thought surely this is just an out-of-date website with a price from sort of 5 years ago or something like that. But no, it was, I'll put the exact price on screen, but it was somewhere in the ballpark of £45, I think, unless I've completely misremembered that or I've left off the VAT or something. I'll put it on screen just to confirm. Under 50 quid for Gevrey Chambertin in very, very good shape, I think. I mean, I know I often get feedback that people think I drink Burgundy way too young and it should be sort of left longer to appreciate, but this is surely really coming into its own now. 8 years. I know some people would go for 15 or 20 or something perhaps with this may well have that sort of drinking window, I don't know, but as it is now, I'm still getting a lot of fruit. I'm getting a lot of that beautiful cherry character, but it's all a bit more rich, it's all a bit more condensed, it's all a bit more perfumey, it's all a bit more sort of luxurious basically. So it went from this beautifully concentrated, really kind of fresh, really kind of attention-grabbing wine is now, well, differently attention-grabbing, but it's grown up a bit. Yeah, wow, that is really impressive. I've actually been away and come back. You can see the details you want on the Tweedy Outdoors video accompanying this one. Been to see the Standing Stone in West Woods, and so I'm having a second glass of this now. I don't have long, alas. I would love to stay here for a bit longer, but the train is not much over an hour, and it is about an hour's walk, so just enjoying this a bit more. I'd say it's sort of it's softened ever so slightly, but not in a bad way. I'm getting a little bit more fruit character now. Paradoxically, I just said it's softened, but actually some tannins have started to emerge a bit as well. But I'm really, really enjoying this, and I can't figure out why it's so cheap. Perhaps Robert Rolls just don't particularly rate it. I haven't read an official drinking window for it, but I'm sure it's well within it. Should probably summarise, sign off, something like that. Very much enjoying this, particularly in this beautiful location. As always, it probably would be even nicer with better stemware, but I think that's a reasonable compromise considering this stunning location. Doing really well, Robert Rolls. 2 of the 5 so far have been, I think, very good, and very good value for money as well. Yeah, baffling why they underrate this wine at Robert Rolls, or just perhaps they're being exceptionally community-minded, trying to give people a bargain, I don't know. I'm definitely enjoying it. Cheers.